At this point, I have my slab, which measures 5 inches by 12 inches, and I'm ready to form it and shape it into a tubular body, a cylindrical form, and I'm going to use a styrofoam cup as my mold. And so a mold is what you shape clay around in ceramics class, and a lot of different objects can be used as molds. You can use a rolling pin to wrap your slab around, use a rolling pin as a mold, or a styrofoam cup. Take a paper towel, a dry paper towel, and line it up with the top of the cup, and you're going to want to tape it down as well. Now, the reason for this is so our slab doesn't stick to the styrofoam cup, because the styrofoam cup that you'll likely be provided with has a smooth, slick surface, and your slab is most likely going to stick to it. So we don't want that to happen, because then it makes it difficult for you to remove your slab from the cup if it's stuck on there. So a dry paper towel will act as a barrier and prevent the clay from sticking. So wrap the paper towel tightly. It's going to be kind of like a weird cone shape, and tape it down, secure it. Don't worry about the conical shape of the paper towel. It's what's needed to get that paper towel wrapped tightly. You can take the top of the paper towel and tuck it in the cup, but the bottom of the paper towel near the base of the cup, you should cut that with some scissors, because that will kind of get in the way and be problematic. So I have like a little excess paper towel. I'm just kind of tucking that under, and then I'm going to secure that with tape. And now it's time to sort of double check my slab too, and make sure that my slab is healthy. With slabs, you typically have one pretty side and one ugly side, so I'll be checking that in just a minute. But right now I'm finalizing my paper towel here and making sure it's secure. And again, the dry paper towel is designed so that your slab does not stick to your styrofoam cup. Okay, so I'm assessing my slab, and I'm rehydrating the slab, especially where I see cracks, because the slab has been a little stressed out with rolling pin work, and then being handled a bunch of times, and then being tossed and stretched out on the tabletop. And, clay is like people, it can only handle so much stress. And after a while, you'll see evidence of the stress. So that reveals itself in cracks. Now, the back side of my slab, as I'm looking here, also has some cracks, but I'm not going to worry about that till later, till my cup body is built. For right now, I'm just focused on the exterior of the slab and getting that decent looking. So now you're going to take your slab and you're literally going to wrap it around your styrofoam cup. You should have a little bit of overlap. So I have one end of the slab hanging over the other end of the slab. That's good. We want that. We need just a little bit of overlap. The overlap can be about a 1/2 inch. If it's much longer than that, you can go ahead and give it a haircut. You only need about a 1/2 inch overlap. Okay. And the top, you can see, is a little wonky. That's because my slab corners were wonky to begin with. But we'll fix that. Fixable problem. And so you might end up with more of a tubular shape. You might end up with a bit of a cone shape. It's fine, because coffee mugs can be kind of cone shape, conical, and they can be tubular too. Either way is fine. So at this point, I'm now scoring up both ends of the slab that meet up. So I'm securing the slab and kind of forcing it to become tubular or cylindrical. Please score up the clay aggressively. We need a really good attachment here, really secure. Go over that area with some water. I typically like to score again, and then sometimes I add water again. So basically I tend to do the slip and score method twice for a project like this. You don't have to, but I recommend it. Again, just to ensure a really strong bond between both ends of the slab. So now I'm going to apply a little pressure as those two ends of the slab meet up. Plan on seeing a little watery slip ooze out. That's normal. That's good. And then you can even take your paintbrush and kind of paint some water over that seam as well. I forgot to do that though. And I'm going straight into blending, which you can do as well. So I'm taking my popsicle stick and I'm blending over that seam to make that connection stronger and to also remove the ugliness of the seam. Now, the top of my mug was wonky to begin with, and now I'm going to deal with that wonkiness just a little bit. I'm going to kind of force that area together, kind of stitch it together in a way. And then I can always perfect that later, because you might be looking at this and thinking, wow, that the rim of the cup is still wonky, it's still uneven. I agree, but that's fixable at a later date. Right now I'm just focused on blending the outer seam on my cup body. Now normally I would say ignore those popsicle stick marks and smooth that at a later date when the cup is, fully built, because right now it's only partially built. I don't have a base on yet. I just basically have an open tube. So normally I would say wait to smooth those popsicle stick marks. However, it's a good idea to smooth away and beautify that part of the cup. You don't have to smooth the entire cup. Just definitely smooth the popsicle stick marks while the slab is around that cup. And my hand is like inside the cup right now, and I'm kind of securing it, with my hand. And basically you're using the styrofoam cup as like a skeleton system. So it's producing kind of a strong skeletal system, which makes the cup stronger. The minute I pull that cup out, that tube becomes weak and it's a little prone to stress. But once the cup is inside, acting as support, it's easy to do a little bit of smoothing. Okay, but again, I didn't smooth the entire exterior. I just focused on where I had popsicle stick marks. Now, once you do remove your styrofoam cup, you're going to see an interior seam. You have to immediately blend that as well. With the traditional clay, it's important that interior seam is blended, because when you go to glaze, you don't want any seams like that showing up when you glaze your cup, or mold could grow in there. Mold could get trapped if you're drinking coffee out of this cup, let's say. A little coffee could get trapped in that inner seam, and eventually mold could grow, and that's gross and unhealthy. So you want the interior of your cup seamless and relatively smooth. I'm not going to smooth away the popsicle stick marks just yet, but for right now we've got a built cylinder.